What's going on, guys? This is Nate, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you a very simple, straightforward way to turn $1,000 into $25,000. Now, the best part about this is that you literally don't have to do anything to make this money except wait a long time for this to happen. So if you came here looking for a get-rich-quick type of video, this is just not that type of video, but the method I'm about to show you, it's probably going to take decades to accumulate. So if you're not interested in building long-term financial freedom, this may not be the right video for you. Now, with that being said, this method is almost guaranteed to work. So let's just get right into this right now. I'll explain to you exactly how you can turn $1,000 into $25,000 using the power of time. So let's say that you're 18 years old and you invest $1,000 into the stock market. And maybe it's an index fund or a mutual fund. It really doesn't matter because either way, the stock market has gained roughly 8% per year over the last century, and this is after inflation and dividend payments as well. Now, it's pretty safe to assume that the overall stock market will continue to grow in the future. We don't know if it's going to be an 8% growth rate year over year, but we're almost certain that the stock market will continue to grow over a long period of time. Never in the history of the S&P 500, which is an index fund, which is an index that represents the overall stock market, could you have lost money over a 20-year period. So even if you had bought stocks at an all-time high, 20 years later, you will have made your money back and you'll probably be much higher on top than your initial investment. So like I said though, we are reaching into the past to try to predict the future, so nothing is guaranteed. But if you're like me and you're 18 years old and you put $1,000 into the stock market and you leave that $1,000 untouched until you're ready to retire at age 60, which is a pretty early age for retirement. Most people retire at about age 63 or 64, but let's just shoot for age 60 in this case. That initial investment of $1,000 would on average be worth about $25,300, assuming an 8% annual growth rate, which is a pretty conservative estimate. So what I'm getting at is that $1 today could be worth more than $25 42 years from now when I'm ready to retire at age 60. Now, I know that seems pretty boring and far away, but there's a way that I like to look at long-term investing, and it's going to change the way that you think about it too. So just think about this. So you have $4, right? And you can either buy an ice cream cone right now, or you can invest that $4 into the stock market. Well, if you skip that ice cream cone today and you invest that money, that $4 will have the same purchasing power as $100 when you retire. So you just have to ask yourself this: what would you rather have, one ice cream cone now or 25 ice cream cones for the same price in the future? So next time you're about to buy something, just think about the potential value of that money in the future. For example, if I just spend $200 on a speeding ticket, I don't necessarily view that as just $200. I sort of view it as if I'm spending $5,000 because that's on average what it's going to cost me in lost assets in the future. Now, this entire mindset that I'm trying to get across is that we're delaying instant gratification now so that we can have much more purchasing power in the future. But I don't want you to leave this video thinking that you have to start socking away every single dollar that you earn and live in a shack or a camper for the next 40 years, squirreling away your money and saving every single penny that you have. There's a perfect balance between investing and enjoying your money in the present time. So what I urge you to do is balance out your budget so that maybe you're investing 10% of your income, and if you can't afford that, maybe 5% of your income into the stock market and other investment vehicles. And even if you just invested $100 a month since your initial investment, by the time you're ready to retire at age 60, your investment will on average be worth more than $419,000 after inflation. And I think the most difficult part about this is resisting the urge to spend your $1,000 on something that you desire today. And so I think the best way to be disciplined about investing is to set a certain amount of money aside for your investments, while at the same time making sure that you're enjoying life and spending money on the things that you want in life. And the reason why I'm able to do this is because I have Microsoft Excel spreadsheets budgeting all of my money every single month, and if you keep track of your expenses, you'll suddenly start seeing where you're spending the majority of your money and how you can possibly cut back on some things that maybe you don't necessarily need. And this way, if you budget your money, you should easily be able to set aside 5, 10, 15% or more of your income for investments every month. So how do you actually get started investing your initial $1,000 or however much money you have into the stock market? Well, you might just want to check out the video that I made last week showing exactly how to get started investing in stocks, because it does take a little while to explain all of that. But for the sake of this video, let me just say that you really don't need to know anything about the stock market in order to make an average of 8% annual return rate. So if you're looking to be lazy, but you still want to increase your money 25-fold, consider investing into index funds or mutual funds. I'm not going to explain in depth these types of funds, but I recommend that you just Google some of these funds because they do tend to move very closely with the overall stock market. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by just giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, of course, if you haven't done that already. Now, thanks so much guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.